everybody, and thank you for watching The Ones in the Corner. This is our review of Kerbal Space Program, the game that we've been playing lately.
Yes.
Ish. Been playing a lot of other games. We're slow. Alright. This review structure is going to be basically what you'd expect a review, what we liked about the game, what we didn't like about the game, and what we thought the game could do better. So, Mike, you want to start us off?
Alright, wait, what was the first subject?
What you liked about the game?
He can't even remember.
I just said it, boy.
Remember when we said we were slow?
Sorry, that ADHD-ish thingy.
ADHD shiny.
Yes, ADHD shiny. Okay, good thing about the game. Yeah.
Not very much.
Mike, how many weeks did you have to prepare?
5.
I had one job!
Yeah, one job.
You blew it!
Okay. Things I liked about the game. It's fairly realistic. There's lots to do. It's a very challenging game. I tend to think that a lot of games nowadays are really too easy. So I like a game that has challenge, and this thing is very challenging if you're actually trying to shoot for the moon, so to speak, or further out. First I've gotten to the moon, and I barely made it, but I did. So that's my main thing I like about the game. It's also very moddable, kind of like Minecraft, where you can add in mods. There's everyone's developing them, so a nice community for that. Various other things.
Yeah. And carrying on from the likes, I also really liked about how the whole diversity, I mean, it blends a good little bit of cartoony fun, with the Kerbals, Jebediah and all that. But, it's a good realistic space simulator, It actually utilizes realistic space physics, so... it basically the concept, you go in one direction in space, you're going to keep going until you got caught in something's gravity, And so you can reach all the planets in the solar system in the game. They're called different names than in real life, but same thing. But, it uses a realistic physics experience, utilizing technology we had back when we were aiming for the moon and up until the shuttle program ended.
No, we have we have modern technology in there, kind of.
Kinda? I guess they updated since I last played.
Well, kind of.
Kind of. Well, yeah, the technology in there is modern, so to speak, I mean, it's not like this is it's like 1700 technology we're talking about.
They went to the moon and
we
space in the
de-evolutionized.
1700s.
Yep, totally. Didn't you know? Alright,
Yeah.
What about you two think? You guys
I'll
will say
take next. It is definitely what I like to call a smart game simulator, because most of the time when I hear simulators, I think of... But it's different, because I've seen people play plane simulators, and I'm flying to Vegas, where you start in Florida, and it's nothing, just them flying as I look at their dashboard, and I'm this is fun. But this is what's different, because you're making the rocket and you're seeing it happen. It's kind of like I've made a comment before, back in the Cub Scouts when you make rockets. It's your creation, you're seeing it go off in your own way. So that's why I like it. And plus, the game makes you feel smart when you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Quote, you're smart when you know what you're doing. That can be it's not aimed to a specific person, but it's just saying to anyone who needs help can easily find research for this. And that's what I like about it, along with the community. It's very helpful to show you what it is. It's kind of like what I like to say, it's kind of like survival mode in Minecraft. At first, the game doesn't really tell you, really. You have to really dig in and research, but once you really know it, it's going to stick.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Tanner, take it away.
I like wheels.
Apparently.
Tanner gives it a 5-star rating because it has wheels.
Hey, I had Hot Wheels as a kid. Wheels are awesome.
So did we. We did put them on our freaking rockets.
Looked like I had the donut rocket. I had the Homer Simpson rocket.
People like wheels. I like wheels. Let's add wheels.
And they're hot after they exploded.
At least they survived. Those were durable
I think
wheels.
they're
Like,
They're fresh donuts.
I think they're the only things that did survive. I don't know, or did your Kerbal survive? I think
Yes,
they did.
Yeah, his
they
Kerbal
did.
survived.
Jesse's the only one that killed his Kerbals.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm the only
Sitting
one.
there. Oh no.
Alright, so
I liked the game. It's fun. You know.
That's descriptive.
Hey, well, hey. I mean, it. You guys kind of touched
It's
on
a
most of the point.
game.
Hey, I'm a gamer. I like games.
I think we're gonna keep.
Shall we move on?
Anyway,
I
know, I like.
editing to do.
I think we're gonna keep Tanner because we're just saying he's gonna really be down to earth.
Down to earth kind of guy.
Yeah, we're all gonna be like, oh, we like it because of all this smart stuff in it. And it's like, I like it. It's a game.
It's got wheels.
If we say that in our next review, I'm gonna smack you.
I mean, it feels realistic. I mean, as I could show you. I mean, it's kind of hard to get into because you know there's some things that you have
You're
to really
moving into the
you have to
dislikes.
you have to mess around with it. But I liked it. I don't know.
All right, and since he already kind of covered into the dislikes, that brings us into the dislikes. What was bad about the game? The learning curve is huge. I mean, if you really want to progress in the game, you really kind of got to understand how all the little tricks of the game work.
If someone says it's not rocket science, they're lying. Because it is.
Very much so. Like, for example, like docking, you know, we didn't get into that in our videos. It's very challenging, you know. I tried it, it's hard, you know, and, you know, there are things you can do that, you know, they don't teach you how to do that in the game, you know. You really kind of got to figure it out on your own, especially like getting the fuel, putting it into a different tank in orbit, space satellite, continue launching to get to a further out planet. It is complex. Alright, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be fumbling around, you know, you're just going to be aiming directly, you know.
This isn't scope your hand down there.
Yeah. Yeah. No questions, class. Another thing I'm not so sure about, I do kind of am disappointed in the lack of life in the game. You know, I feel that, you know, there should be, you know, I mean, this is, like, the Kerbals have a space program. You'd think they'd have more than a space dock. And airport on an island, just down the way.
Yeah, there's besides the main buildings that you see when you first open it up, there's a small airport that's on an island a little ways away, although you really don't get anything for landing on it.
Yeah, they're just little Easter eggs you can find that the developers put in.
One other Easter egg is that actually on each of the celestial bodies, there's a special
A monolith.
Yeah, monolith that you can find, and they have, you know, special things written on them. They're interesting. But
Continuing on with dislikes, Mike.
dislikes. There's a lack of a campaign mode right now. This game is in heavy development at the moment, so it's not fully complete, which is a downside, but they kind of tell you that up front. They are working on it, but yeah, right now it's in heavy development, so there's not as much as there could be or should be. It's, of course, yeah, it's a hard game, but I kind of like that. But yeah, in order for you to get very far out in space, you really have to know what you're doing and kind of do research on how to.
Okay.
And you know, it's there's some tutorials in the game. There's like 2-3 tutorials, but they don't show docking. They don't show like re-entry and landing, and you kind of have to figure a lot of these things out on yourself. And it's trial and error, and you lose a lot of innocent little Kerbals.
Yeah, like poor Jebediah. But ironically, the whole
Call at this time. If you'd like to leave a message, please wait for
Good
job.
Back to you and editing, Jesse.
Like you said before, it is a huge learning curve, and that can be a huge turnoff because that's why I didn't like Minecraft at the start. Because like at first, it was just way overwhelming. I was like, what am I supposed to do? And there was no clear direction where I was supposed to do. I was just put in this world, and they expected
Live.
There's no
live.
Yeah.
And in this game, like yes, I can build what I to the looks of a rocket, but to the point of actual functionality, once it gets to space, total blank. Like I have no idea what to do. It comes to that point, and the thought does not come until as I'm in space. Like crap, I forgot to put this. Oh. And then you can't exactly say, "Hang on, I'll be right back," and just you're stuck there with your decisions and your spaceship.
Yeah. Tanner?
See, and going kind of touching back on the learning curve, it really is. That I guess my dislike is there's just a lot to learn. I mean, it's not a game that you can easily just get in and play. I mean, it's not like your normal shooting game or something where you're just like, oh, okay, press A to jump, press RT to shoot. You know, you're not. It's not like.
Please continue. Don't mind me.
Whatever. Anyway.
It's not a pick up and play game, basically.
Yeah, it's not really pick up and play. It's really something you gotta really.
You gotta invest time in this game to be good at it at all.
Or even mentioning like put on a parachute. Now we all know what a parachute looks like, but we don't know what it looks like in space form and put away. So in the moment we're just going through the item list like parachute, and the point that you guys that have experience, you're just yelling that one.
Don't release the parachute before you jump off the space.
Yeah.
No! All right. So moving on from dislikes to what would you like to see in the game?
I actually have given a lot of thought to this. I think the game, like I said, I think it should have more life to it. Flesh it out a bit more. Maybe in career mode it will have something like that where you actually got to do missions to take supplies to other colonies or actually land and establish colonies. It's space, the final frontier for a reason. There is so much potential. Maybe have something where the game can progress through years and the technology for space travel actually gets better and better as time goes on. I think that would be something I'd really like to see in it.
Mm-hmm. It'll make it a little bit more worth playing because right now it's just sandbox mode. So you can go out and you can mess with all these things, but you really don't have any consequences. So story mode, where you have a budget and stuff, it'll give more structure to the game and make it better. It'll make you want to. Oh, I gotta get this to the moon, or I gotta go refuel these, things, and they, more modules, of course, would be excellent. Will be excellent. Of course, you can get mods for them, but once again, if they're just in the game in the first place, that'd be good. I actually was reading up on this. They're not planning on adding in any sort of warp drive anytime in the future. They're not going to put in aliens. They did say that they would flesh out the world, make it a little bit more life, like add cities and stuff.
Okay.
So I did hear something about that. And yeah, if you could make colonies on these other planets, I think that would add a lot to the game. It'd make it worth, going out and figure out how to do this. It, make you want to.
And it had a huge level of replayability to it, because it's like right now, the way sandbox mode is, you kind of reach the other planets, and you're like, what now? You can go and hunt for the monoliths, but, they only capture your attention for so long. They really need, something to, draw people to come back, and the best way to do that would be, a more fleshed out campaign and possibly the whole established colonies. Because I feel that, if you're trying to make working colonies and managing them and supplying them with your rockets, that adds a whole new level of replayability.
Well, I have to say, what would be, way cool is, kind of touching on that, not only making your own colonies, but it'd be cool if, you can make, your own, cities and your own, even maybe your own space station. or just kind of adding on to that, where like when take things back and forth, and as you're talking about, take supplies, and you can like buy these supplies out in the game, and where you can actually start building your own world. I'm not saying like let's go Minecraft on all this, but at least be able to give you a chance to make some pretty cool stuff to where you can kind of show it off to people and say, look, see, this is kind of what I
So you
did.
mean like this is my design for a futuristic rocket design, kind of.
Yeah.
Especially, it'd be kind of cool for that, and adding on to that, that's a great idea. Make it so that you can make rockets, design rockets that look kind of futuristic, that work. Because like I said, this is a realistic space physics. Adding realistic physics to everyone's dream rocket, that would be, awesome, in my opinion.
And just along with you guys, I would like a campaign, more live, and basically that. It's just more live, more flexible towards beginners and people that are just, I'm not saying for it to become a pick up and play, just more friendlier to the people that are just they're just coming in.
I'd say, it's like, make it more worthwhile for the people you already have, and add functions that will attract people that aren't currently interested.
My final thoughts, like, yes, it is a game that's difficult to get into, but at least, again, that was like me with Minecraft. It was so difficult for me to get into, and at one point I was like, I can't even play this, and now I'm back into it better than ever, just because I would learn the ways of looking things up and going through that. So that's not a problem with me. But again, we do see a lot of potential, and it's far from fully polished. So I would say I'll have to give this a 7 out of 10.
Okay. My thoughts are very similar to yours. Adding on to that, just needs to be a bit more flushed out, add more life, add more, things to do in it. Excuse me. Add more, things that we can build with it. Just in general, just add to it. But in regards to that, what's there right now, the game is very well made for what it has right now. It's not really all that buggy. I mean, it has a few little glitches, but they catch those really quickly. It's a great simulation game if you're at all interested in space and understanding how rocketry works, and how NASA and the JPL actually get these rockets into space and get them to other planets. Then this is definitely a game I'd recommend you getting. I'd also say I'd give it a 7 out of 10 as well, or 8 out of 10 at most. So.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Once this thing's polished, it's going to be excellent. Because right now it's basically in beta or alpha. So yeah, they got a bunch of things they need to add, and it'll be an excellent game. I also give it a 7. And what about you?
It really is a good game. It has a lot of potential, a lot. And I mean, it's something that even if they wanted to, if they wanted to make this game, and if they wanted to make like maybe a second game or something like that to, kind of add a little bit more, like something maybe they missed out of this game. I mean, they've got a lot of potential with this. They could really go far. I think it's a really great game as it is. But there's a lot of things that they could change to make it better. I mean, if they don't, still a pretty fun game for what it is. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. And that was BS.
I was trying to hold that for so long, so I wouldn't sneeze in the middle of this thing.
Alright, well, thank you all so much for watching. That has been our review. If you want to go ahead and try it for yourself, we recommend you please do. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and give us a like, share us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe. And, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Joey.
Mike.
I'm Tanner, and I was wondering when we'd introduce ourselves.
I forgot about that. You know what? If you don't recognize our tones of voices, oh well.
Alright. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye!
Yeah!
My one.
Goodbye!
Now I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go this way.